winners bracket finals, I believe, actually, of Diamond as well, what we're covering here in our grand finals. So, yeah, you can definitely check out his stream. Hey, have both of them open at the same time, if your computer can handle it, can you? So, yeah, you can definitely check that out. But as far as this game goes, I've let the teams know that we are ready. They were actually confirming whether or not, I don't even think they were even fully aware if it was a 2 best-of-3 type deal. Milkfat did come in here, though, and it looks like he did actually confirm with them that indeed for both the gold and the diamond division, actually, that's how it's set up because of the double elimination format. Now, like I said, that has been talked about a lot, between the teams and the players and spectators and everything. I don't know if that's going to necessarily stand for the whole HoN Tour event necessarily, but at least for this cycle, it's going to stick. Depending on how things work out, we'll see, going into future cycles. But that's what to expect right now. But it looks like game number 2 has started. So, Treff, are we ready?
We're ready.
Let's go ahead and jump in. Game number 2, Call It Karma, taking on FYKU Curdy. Let's take a look. All right, and actually another thing I wanted to note right there was if this happens to go to another best-of-3, of course, if that means whether Call It Karma wins this game or even the third game if there is one, then we will ultimately be casting these grand finals instead of the silver, because at that time, they'll be overlapping, and obviously we'd rather finish off this one than just jumping to the silver one. So, depending on how things work out, we'll see what we end up covering in the end. So just a quick heads up on that. As far as to what to look forward to, now the blind band's coming out as always. Monkey King and Keeper of the Forest taken care of by Call It Karma, just like the first game, they banned the Monkey King again. Tempest, Keeper of the Forest, coming out from FYKU, so only 3 bans as a result, as Keeper of the Forest right there overlapping with these two teams.
Yeah, both teams just don't want to deal with Keeper, and I don't blame them one bit. That hero is very, very strong. But, yeah, Monkey Kings, Call It Karma, they banned it out last time as well, and they just don't want to play against that hero. And Pewee plays a great Monkey King, and it's just an annoying hero. Like, you just feel like sometimes you can't stun him because he's just so all over the place.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, the first lock actually is Pestilence, so I wonder if they're going to do this more troll style of locks, like starting on his first pick. That's normally not the smartest decision.
Yeah.
But
See, this is where it backfires.
Pesty's not really a trollish lock. He can be used, but I don't really like the hero that much in this metagame. I just don't know how he fits. Like, if you put him as a farmer, he doesn't really carry a game. You can't really put him as a ganker in, like, a mid lane setup because he's just so weak in a dual lane mid. So, yeah, it's just kind of awkward, in my opinion, to play Pestilence in this metagame. But nonetheless, he's locked, along with Aluna and Torture is the response from Shizor. Yeah,
I was actually curious coming into the second game. Were we maybe going to see a response from FYKU in the sense that, well, it worked out for you guys last game, now we'll go ahead and do the Trollish locks. But, yeah, with the Pestilence being locked first, it is a little bit like, wait a second, so are you guys going to do it again? Again, as you stated, I mean, it's not like that. That's not like a Gemini lock by any means, but it still is. It's not your usual. Now, so this is where it gets very interesting, though, because like as we were stating, and it's pretty obvious, that if you're the Legion side, you do want to be careful if you're doing this, because if they were to, say, lock like a Gemini Shadowblade here, then they would get one of the heroes, but then they would ultimately be screwing themselves for their final pick. Now, they do go with Plague Rider Parasite, so it seems like it is going to finish off. So maybe they were just simply waiting to see if FYK would kind of join in on the fun and do some Trollish locks themselves, but they chose not to. They went with more solid ones in a Luna Torturer, and Call It Karma decides to go with with what we expect to see. So Ophelia again, the final lock, and now it's coming to the final or the banning stage here now, of course. So we'll see how that takes place. But that turned out to be actually a very strong lock pool, of course. So
yeah,
we'll see how that plays out now.
You got one suicide in there, and a couple of junglers being Parasite and Ophelia. So I love Torture too. We don't see him as much as we used to, but the times I do see him, he always owns. Like, he always seems to just take over games. So I would love to see him. There's actually the Draconis ban coming out from FYKU. Jeraziah, Silhouette. They do not want to get Jeraziah cheesed. And, I mean, actually, if you remember, FYKU did pick up Jeraziah in Game 1 in the semifinals against Call It Karma and had great success with him.
Yeah.
And or just that entire lineup in general with Jeraziah. I believe it was Tempest.
Dark Lady, I want to say.
Dark Lady. And it was just... it was ridiculous in teamfights. You couldn't do anything. And we forget just how strong Jeraziah is and how much he brings to the table with such little amounts of farm. And I believe he even bought a portal key.
Yeah, that was the portal key game.
And it was awesome. I think that's a great pickup because one of the things to counter Jeremiah is really you have to go on him. But how can you go on Jeremiah when he is sitting, 2,000 range away with a portal key ready to just blink in and use his ultimate or heal whoever?
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic strat, but they banned that out. Dark Lady's banned. Fade is banned by the Jellyfish. Tundra is the final ban coming out from Scizor. First pick Pebbles, so bringing on the aggression early on is Call of Karma.
Bring it on. Yeah, we have a couple of reaction bans from the previous game, you could say. Of course, the Draconis, Fade, and Tundra. But Pebbles going to be first picked here from Call of Karma. Now, you do look, of course, at options on the board. You have not only a Luna in the lock pool, but you have both Glacius and Nymphora open there as far as strong support options for Call of Karma to eventually pick up. So now on FYKU side, they're going to take away one of those options, though, as they actually go Hammerstorm Nymphora here. And, of course, Hammerstorm, now, it seems like we've been seeing a lot more. Now, obviously, Hammerstorm we don't see him a lot by any means, but whenever we have seen him lately, it seems like he's been played more as a farming / even carry potential Hammerstorm, and I love seeing that. I really do. It's just obviously I just think that's the more entertaining way to see it played, and he can really just do some insane amount of damage. So
yeah,
if it works out well, so yeah, we'll see how of course FYKU decides to ultimately lane him and whatnot. But now back to Call of Karma. Got to think, again, maybe that Glacius pickup here to secure a support. We'll see though.
Yeah, definitely, as I'm having some issues with my computer. There we go. Okay, so yeah, Hammerstorm Nymphora, it is very strong. There's the Empath Samwraith, actually. We saw this used by, well, actually, I didn't see it.
It was Call of Karma, I believe.
They were the first ones?
Well, no, Vitriolic was where it came from.
Right.
But I remember Call of Karma, didn't they tried this, I believe, and it just didn't work out. I think that we were referring to that.
Okay. That
was in the second game, I think they tried it, so.
Huh, okay. Well, so they're going to do with that, and it's very strong. The only thing is if you do lane up against that Sandwraith, he's not the strongest laner in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he is a hero that like I said, oh yeah, it was, because I remember talking about this. I was like, you can't really compare Sandwraith to a hero like Dark Lady or Silhouette, that even if you or Magebane, if you shut them down early, they'll find their farm somewhere and still carry the game. Mm-hmm. It's not really that true with Sandwraith. Like, you do kind of have to get your farm early on Sandwraith, or you are in a bad spot. And we have actually a right click on Wild Soul. I was going to mention this last time, but even though Pharaoh was picked up as a suicide last time, Wild Soul was wide open the entire game and wasn't actually picked up. So might get picked up right here as the right click in it right now.
Yeah, this does go back to the whole conversation of that, maybe they don't have a player that's very comfortable with him, but at this level, I mean, these teams are going to be timing next cycle. You got to have a player that knows how to play it. I mean, there's just you can't really have an excuse like that. So Wild Soul is going to be the pickup though by the Hellborn team. So
yeah,
FYKU, they're going to go that route, and of course, very very strong option there. We could see a couple of Mock of Brilliances this game. Oh, they're on Wild Soul and Sandwraith.
Yeah,
as a result of these hero pickups, but apparently Alme is actually timed out according to Call of Karma. Now again, that's not the worst thing in the world, as obviously he's not the captain of the team, so we can still move on with this, but might need to remake depending on the situation. We'll see. But we do have right here actually the Jellyfish deciding who is wants his final or his first lock pick to be. Again, a lot of strong options there when you look at the lock pool. I mean, is there a specific one you're eyeing out of that, Trelf, or?
I would eye that Ophelia. Like, that Ophelia looks amazing. Yeah, there is a Parasite, but again, I don't really think Parasite's the strongest counter in the world to Ophelia. All you have to do is have a little bit of support, like say Empath come and support Ophelia in the jungle, and it kind of forces Parasite to move away, which then as a result makes Parasite go to his own jungle. But they're going to go with their own Parasite, which is okay too, because, well, Parasite in general is a very, very good hero. And on top of Pebbles and Empath and having lots of aggression with specifically Pebbles, it can open up the map for Sandwraith. I do think that Ophelia is pretty strong right here. And having Ophelia on this team now, that you could have double heal from Nymphora, you're going to have massive push from Wild Soul and Ophelia. So, yeah, they're actually going to play Rider and Ophelia, so that's a lot of push right there. Now, on top of also the Hammerstorm Ultimate, it has a lot of pushing potential.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see how that. Yeah, there is actually a good amount of pushing potential, definitely over there in FYK, as you said, with the brute strength from Hammerstorm, especially. So, the final pick it is going to be Torturer. Now, I was actually looking at that at Luna, and again, that kind of goes to the mindset of if your strategy here is that Sandwraith Empath, which, as we've described before, the idea of it, as far as working, is simply Empath jumps inside Sandwraith, he ulties, he ports to somebody that happens to be by themselves at that time, and they easily destroy him, with Empath and Sandwraith getting a free port. So, that's the idea. You know, if you had a Luna on top of that, it seems like that could also be another powerful contribution to that strategy. But it just didn't seem like it would have fit in their lanes, I guess, and whatnot. So they decided to go with the Torture pick. Although I guess if you are going to go Torture as your final pick, maybe it could have worked out. But now this does bring up actually an interesting. How are they going to lane? Now that I think about it,
I think they're going to do a pseudo tri-lane top with Parasite, and maybe they could go Parasite, Empath, and Pebbles. Maybe a solo short, Sand Wraith, and then maybe Torture mid.
Yeah,
they have options, but that's probably the only way to go, considering you don't really have a Suicide hero on your team.
Yeah. So we are going to obviously remake there, as you saw. Apparently, Alme is having some issue. He timed out or something, and hasn't come back just yet. So hopefully not too long here. This is the gold division, damn it. We're not supposed to have these problems. This isn't Diamond. What's going on here? No. So
no divas here.
We'll see. Yes. Well, so we'll see how, of course, this is taken care of. And actually, I reconnected. I connected off Ame, but yeah, I just got bugged out as I thought it would. No. What?
You're in some random game.
Man, it joined me in some random ass game. You know that for a second I actually thought that we're gonna see him in this game because remember the DreamHack thing with Tail actually, where a player logged on his account and actually queued up for TMM just randomly on it, and funny. It was like, okay, I guess we got a remake now because he just got kicked from the game. But here, let me actually. There we go. All right, so it looks like we are just gonna wait on Alme here to come back, but.
Yeah, it looks like the lobby is remade. But yeah, that was funny. We're referring to this time where someone actually got on his computer and was joining a TMM while he was playing the match. So it kicked him, booted him out of the match, and it had to be remade. But that was kind of funny.
A little bit unfortunate because it was a little bit later on in the game, but both teams were fine with it. And so it was just dandy. Now, I'm actually getting an update here on the Complexity Lion game. Again, out of curiosity, man, 35 minutes in, there's only 7 kills total, by the way. That's a passive game there, ladies and gentlemen. So I guess we're not missing out that much in that sense. But you said Moon Meander is actually on Silhouette and level 19. Seems like, again, we can't really tell as far as Gold Farm or anything looking at just like this. But Moon Queen being played by Super KGE, actually, for Lion Esports Club. He is up there at level 20, top in the game. And Moon Queen's a scary hero late game, man. We've seen it before. We talk about it a lot. That's a very scary hero. So it seems like Lion may have something going for them there. And that first game, you know what? I happened to be on the Real Talk podcast the other day with Swin and Melons hosting it and Phil, and also my nuts actually for TDM, and then it was Dawes actually. So it was a fun podcast. If you didn't check it out, it's actually on Swin and Melons' VOD list on his stream. But one of the points that I specifically brought up was the fact that it seems like Complexity, after DreamHack especially, they've been kind of having their ups and downs. Now, of course, they're still doing very well ultimately, but it seems like that they're not playing at that level that we just saw them before DreamHack especially.
Well, to be fair, who have they played to that they haven't looked that good against?
Well, again, at this point they played Trademark Esports. Yeah, they lost to TDM, but even in this case, it seems like before DreamHack, this game wouldn't even be close.
But they're not using Haxorn.
They are not using. Okay, did you? Wow, I didn't even realize that.
Shams.
You probably mentioned that. That completely passed my mind. Now, okay, so that's a little bit different, I guess. Shams is playing in place of Haxorn.
I think the biggest thing is that it's the role reversal. Like, and I'm not saying that Moon's a bad carry, but it's just not. It's not what he plays. And I do really think that he is solidified on that Suicide hero. Like, he has practiced that. He has practiced that. He has practiced that, and he's got it down. Similar to Zai. Zai is a Suicide hero. Before, when he was playing on BXF, he was playing secondary support. That just it didn't fit. It didn't work. But when you put him on the right, same thing with Jonas and Fan. I want to give a shout out to him because he was playing carry for a long time for Lions before he moved, and they got Era. But it just didn't fit his role. But then he found that spot in that Suicide role. So role assignment is very important at the highest stage of play.
Yeah, so I'm actually in the game myself here, just out of curiosity. So I think, if we actually just want to, in fact, here, let me do something real quickly before, okay, we are on my stream, but I just want to let them know that, let us know when you have 5, because obviously I don't want to, oh, he's not even online. Anyways, we'll be able to jump back into that game once they do have 5.
Should we just tell them to start whenever, and then when they do, we'll go back into that?
Oh, yeah, actually, just tell them to start here. Or just start when you are ready. We will join. There we go. Okay, I apparently suck at spelling. Okay, anyway, so we see right here we are the Complexity game. Actually, just taking a quick look at it while
We have double Wolf Commander, by the way. One Wolf sitting behind Moon Queen, another Wolf sitting behind.
You know what? I love
Rich
this.
Tag.
I love this, and I've always talked about this. How it seems like we're so set on Minotaur and Skeleton King for minions, both Ophelia and then a Whispering Count. But it seems like things like Wolf Commander that can be pretty powerful, man. It is kind of funny though. It's like following each person.
Oh, it almost died.
No, yeah, it is alive. It stays alive. They don't have an affiliate, do they? No, that's a Whispering Helm. Yeah, but what seems like right here, Line is actually pushing up into the base right now. Complexity. So this is and Moon Queen's farmed, man. 625 gold per minute. Has a token. Geometer's being butterfly Wingbow. Similar Rage. We see right there gonna get locked down, but gonna be fine. And a Shrunken Head on top of all that. You just see the glaives bouncing around. That base is going to start falling quickly if they're not careful.
Yep. And she has a Token of Life. She has the Wingbow. Pretty insane right now. I still don't know why Silhouette doesn't have a portal key. I just feel like it's such a necessary item. But nonetheless, has a Shrunken. Has all the damage items that she needs in the world, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No Null Stone, so if they blink on her with that Wretched Hack having that Hellflower, it could do a lot of damage. Ooh, an unfortunate wasted Hellflower right there by Shams playing that Bubbles. So
they know it's down now, yeah. That's down for another 15 seconds, so the Moon Queen's feeling very good. Again, has a Token of Life, so not necessarily the most concerned here about getting taken out, but still, as a team, I mean, they're playing very passive. You got Magnus just sitting back there, of course. I got Wretched Hag ready to go, but seems like they might be resetting. No?
She keeps just going over here using that Symbol of Rage on the creeps, then coming back to mid. I like that.
Interesting.
Because you don't want to use your Symbol of Rage when you have your Token of Life up anyway. So that I like that a lot. Great strategy coming out from Lions.
Yeah, and now, again, just going back in right there, there's a finish down on the wrong side, but just more so for harassment and letting her know what's up. Wow, Nymphora dropping right there very quickly. Oh, Franzi barely living, though, but here we go. Are they going to initiate? Moon Queen dropping very low. There's a Storm Spirit applied just in case. And actually, we'll be fine for now. Is that their Storm Spirit? Yeah,
she's gonna Symbol of Rage again.
Yep, here she goes. Here comes to the creeps. There's a Symbol of Rage, and there's the heal up back to full life. That's a really good strategy.
That is awesome. I like how they're sticking to it.
Innovative, man. Innovation at its
But
finest.
the spells are down. Like Hellfield is down.
And this Rax is dropping. It's not the quickest Rax kill, but it's going to eventually fall. I mean, Complexity, they got to do something soon if they want to save this Rax. Here we go again. Look at the damage. Look at the spread damage.
Look at the glaives.
It's ridiculous. The glaives just bouncing around all over the place.
It's
going all the way to the freaking World Tree Towers. This hero, man. This hero.
Moon Queen is pretty fun in the late game.
And again, as we see, I mean, it's only 4-3 hero kills right now in favor of Complexity. Passive games like this, big time in favor of Moon Queen.
You can arguably say that maybe Complexity let them get to this point because it's 4-3. Like, you want to put the aggression on the Moon Queen. You do not want her to just have free farm her way to victory because we see, obviously, in this case, what Moon Queen does with free farm. Has another Wolf Commander behind her, hitting for 378 max damage.
Jeez.
And they just want another tower. I've seen teams do this. They need to be careful, though. They can't suicide the token too far ahead and be too cocky. I've seen people just suicide with the token, and then everyone just collapses on that hero. So they need to be careful in that regard.
Look at the building damage, by the way. It's that we don't look at it too often on the stats tab, but Moon Queen's at 69% overall building damage out of everyone in this game. So obviously, the glaives have just been doing so much damage for this game when it comes to that, as far as even pushing the outer towers. So just a kind of a fun, unique strategy or a stat to look at there. But you got to respect what Lions doing at the same time. Again, this is a very passive game, but hell, with the lineup that they have, especially, this is what they should be doing, and they're doing it very, very well. Complexity is, they're trying their darndest to defend here, but it's just not working out. I mean, there's the Kelfield, there's a Storm Spirit though, coming out from Magnus, and in the meantime, Moon Queen will be fine. Hellfire was applied, but Symbol of Rage is still up, ready to go. Oh, the Minotaur stun missing right there from Chessie. Thought he had a sure thing, the triple Minotaur army, but does not connect, and instead they'll just once again reset it. She's going to go back for a Symbol of Rage use. A minute 45 on the Token of Life, so we'll need to be careful here now.
Yeah. And the problem, they're taking her creeps. She can't find something to use her Symbol of Rage on. She finds some wolves, actually. Or she hasn't found them yet. But she's just waiting around, and I feel like they still want to use this Token of Life, and why not? They have it for another minute and a half.
Yeah.
She has more than enough gold to buy out. Still has 2 buyouts available. So, yeah.
She wants to use the Symbol of Rage. Yeah, she wasn't attacking right there, waiting for the Symbol of Rage to come off cooldown. There she goes, and she's back to full life. Yeah. Now, the downside of this, obviously, you may not have it if they do initiate on you, but especially, knowing that you have the token of life, you'll come right back in anyways. It makes sense not to use it until, at the very least, you resurrect. So, has another about 18 seconds on it. It's going to be talented forward, actually. The Moonbeam's coming out onto Chessie right there. Chessie's taking a lot of damage. Retronac in the background. Here we go. The Hellboy team, it looks like Lions has committed. Moon Queen is dropping right here in the foreground. He will fall. Behemoth jumps in with the ultimate. Moon Queen going to resurrect, though. And now here comes a cooldown. Sharkadad going to go off right there. Retronac in the background will be picked up, so killing LG. But now Moon Queen with the Moon Finale. The spread damage from the Glaives coming out. Silhouette will fall. She buys back immediately, but the Hellborn team is now in retreat mode, it looks like. Engineer and Wretched have fallen, and I think, Lion's going to play it safe here, and they will fall back. Bubbles, Shams, he wants to try to maybe catch somebody. Look at the mines down here from Engineer. Oh, the kill field cancels Magma's Eruption, but it doesn't matter. Ophelia falls, Bubbles falls. Moon Queen is just too much of a boss.
They did flank them, though.
Oh,
Glace
wow.
is in a lot of trouble. He actually does fall. Moon Queen still wants more damage. Great double stun coming out from Magnus. He actually gets the Storm Spirit off on Moon Queen as well. Moon Queen has all her cooldowns up. She has Symbol of Rage. There goes the Symbol of Rage on top of maybe Geometers. Needs to pop the Geometers for extra damage. He'll be doing a lot of damage right now. Great stunning, though, from Magnus continuously. Nymphora actually might be in a lot of trouble as well, and he will most likely fall. 1-2 punch to the face. Super KG gets the legendary streak, and they're going to press on this bottom tower. No buyouts. There is a buyout available onto Behemoth. He needs to buy out right now or the racks will fall. Beacon, why not buying out? He doesn't buy out. Maybe he just realizes they can't do anything against him right now because Moonmander's in a very interesting spot. And that will be double racks for Moon Queen. It's just taken out in a matter of seconds. So Moon Queen, man, doing a lot of damage.
The sustainability is ridiculous. I mean, they've been here for, what, since we've joined, and they were probably here even a little bit before that. I mean, they've been here for a good 4 or 5 minutes now, it seems like, at the base. They're finally going to retreat right here. But all that time, they eventually got both the middle and the bottom racks cleared out. Look at the towers at the World Tree. Even those took a lot of damage there from both the Glaives bouncing around and, of course, the creep wave even pushing in while the bottom action was going on. So I love the flank attempt there for Complexity. Obviously, that made a lot of sense, and if it was able to be executed to perfection, but in the end, it just wasn't. Super KGE stood his ground, and with the cooldowns all being up, and now he has a Genjiro, by the way. Wow.
Yeah.
The dude just bought a straight-up Genjiro. He has another 2,800 gold saved up. What's our buyback situation? It's perfect over there for Lions. Complexity, we got Beacon, Franzi, and Moonmeander all using a buyback so far. So, yeah, it's looking very good right now for Lions. Complexity going to be fighting from behind here. This is a loser's bracket matchup, remember. They got knocked down by TDM, of course, in the winners finals, or the winners semifinals, I should say. And they're on the verge of finishing 5th, 6th, I believe this is for. If they lose here, they'll finish 5th, 6th in the first Diamond Cycle, man.
Which is, as you mentioned, the same exact points you get as first place for gold. Yeah. So, yeah, that could be bad. And on top of Haxor not being here for Complexity, I think the biggest issue was, well, one, I think the draft is kind of funky. Like, I just don't like it. Like, basically what it was, a farming Behemoth and a Nymphora mid. We did see this from time to time in DreamHack, but I don't care. I think that sucks. Like, cool, you can spam out all the time, but so what?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems clunky to me. I don't really like it. You can't kill anybody. It's very passive. You just sit there, farm, spam out waves. And against a Magnus Engineer, which I suppose was the lane, Behemoth is good against Magnus, but I don't know. I just don't like it. Seems very passive to me. As a result, we did have, 6 kills in 40 minutes or something?
Yeah.
So, and then you had it was basically a farm fest of Moon Queen versus Silhouette for 50 minutes. And, I mean, Silhouette could be good. I really feel like Moon should have bought a portal key. Like, I just think it's as essential on Silhouette as it is a Magnus. I really do. Because you can set up kills, you can be aggressive with Silhouette, and you can always have a failsafe with that ultimate and the reflectability. I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
Or Shadow, sorry. And it's just a failsafe. You can be very effective and very gank-oriented, and also in team fights. You can be very effective in team fights by actually jumping in, not sitting back like a scared person. Don't want to say the... anyway.
Okay. Censor.
It's a man-up. It's a man-up item. That's what I'm saying.
Spell Shards level 2 now on Behemoth. Come on, the Spell Shards right here.
Wuss, yeah. Like a wussy.
Yeah. By the way, I have been double checking every now and then to see the friends list. It looks like Holy Karma and
They're still waiting.
FYKU, they are still waiting,
still in
so
the lobby
obviously
as well.
we're not missing out on anything there. Not that, I'm sure people are just fine maybe with this. But actually, Moon Queen's going to get jump right here. Here we go. There's a Storm Spirit as well as a tablet. He's flying all over the place. And now Moon Queen going to look to maybe turn this around. Ganjiro's going to be activated. Pat Blast in the background. However, LG will fall right there. But Moon Queen charging back in. Magma stunning as well. Here comes Moon Queen. There's the open Behemoth with a counter, though. And Moon Queen is actually dropping pretty fast. Geometer's going to come out.
Oh.
But the Symbol Rage coming out. The eruption on top of that. Chessie will fall. Bubbles on the run. Silhouette goes down. Moomiator cannot get away. There's the Moon Finale. And Nymphora also going down right there. Double tap picked up by Super KGE. Portal Key is going to be used by Complexity. But now Moon Queen's going to charge in. And look at the base in the meantime. The bottom and the middle creep wave are massively pushing in right here. Magnus catches Behemoth actually. He will fall. And I think game number 1 should be going Alliance here after that. They're not going to be coming back. They don't have any buyback. Or
Watch
they do. Silhouette does have a
Watch these
buyback.
towers.
Yeah, the tower is just going to melt away. She's not even buying back anyways. There's the GG's. Lion Esports Club will take game number 1. Again, it's just the first game, but they take the first game over Complexity here in what is a loser's bracket matchup from the Diamond Division. So that was kind of a fun sneak peek right there as far as that series going on.
It's fantastic. I mean, again, they're not using their full roster. You do have to go back to that, but still, Lions, I think this is a big victory for them in the sense that I always see them, perform well in scrims.
Yeah.
They always just take it to them in scrims and play very, very well. But then when it comes to the big matches and the matches that matter, they seem to crumble and kind of fall apart. But this is, I think, a good confidence booster for them. We can compete in these matches, and we can transfer those skills over to the important matches. So good for them. But it does look like all the people and the members are ready for the gold matchup. Is that correct?
I just joined. There are 5 on either side.
Okay.
And I've asked him if they're ready. Apparently, he's still having a couple of internet, or somebody on FYKU now is actually having internet issues. But so it's kind of Almy is good to go, but now something on FYKU side. But again, hopefully that gets figured out very shortly here, and then we'll be good to go. So, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the Lion Esports Club. This is a team that's kind of been, really making a splash on the scene lately. And, as we saw even a little bit right there, and even before there was some recent results, this is a team we've got to really start paying attention to more and more and start even considering perhaps as being kind of that top echelon team that, teams like Vote, like TDM, of course, like Complexity, Q Squad even, that you can engage them up there. Maybe Alliance should start being considered as one of those top teams. So we'll see how they finish off, of course, against Complexity. That was the first game. Again, it's not technically not their A+ roster by any means, but hey, it's still a very good team at that, even without Haxerin.
Yeah.
And Lions should be happy. But it looks like, actually, we joined into this one, and they are loading in right now. So I think we do have Game 2 officially starting for this series, a series we are planning on casting now. Back to this one. So, Trelf, are we good once again?
Yes, we are. We are
Okay.
good to go.
We're going to be loading into the lobby here any second. But before we do, again, with what we're seeing right here, so obviously now we're going back to the Gold Grand Finals coverage. If you still want to maybe check out the Diamond coverage, as we said earlier, Beef Pot Pie is actually casting the Complexity versus Lions series. So if you did want to check that out over on his stream, I'm actually blanking on the exact name of the stream, but Complexity, something like that.
Complexity TV, I believe is what
Complexity
it's called.
HoN.
Complexity HoN.
Yeah, so Complexity HoN. Check out their stream there. Anyways, but back to this one. It looks like they have loaded in, and we are ready for game number 2. So Call It Karma taking on FYKU here. Let's go ahead. Once again, take a look.
Yeah, and hopefully they actually do remember all the blinds and the picks and all that stuff, and he says, actually help me out. I can't remember. I can't either.
Yeah.
So as far as their picks, just hopefully they get it right, because if they lock too many heroes, like if they lock three of their 5 heroes in the lock pool, then it could be bad. But we did have, I want to say, okay, Sandwraith, Pebbles, Empath, Parasite, and Torturer up on the Legion side.
Okay, so Plague Rider, Ophelia.
We had Plague Rider, Ophelia.
So now just lock Random.
Lock Revenant. There you go.
Random. Okay, well that
works.
He was locked last game, but yeah, that's fine. So yeah, so far so good. Again, obviously, if you happen to just be tuning in, wondering what's going on, we've been casting this series from the beginning. Game 1 was actually a pretty fun game to watch. Definitely, Call It Karma did take the first game, coming from the losers bracket, and they're trying to secure this first series here with a win here. But this game, it was already picked and everything, but one of the players had some internet issues, so they had to remake, which is why we were in the Complexity versus Lions series there. And, hey, we happened to get to finish watching that game, so that was kind of fun. But jumping back into the originally scheduled broadcast here, Pebble is going to be the first picked. There's an Nymphora Hammerstorm. Back to Karma. There's the Empath Sandwraith. And they should finish with, who was it? It was Wild Soul. That's right.
That's right.
All right, so it's looking good here. Just a matter of clicking correctly between the Jellyfish and Shizor. And then we'll be good to go. And then we're going to start seeing how the lanes are going to start looking. Again, this global strategy from C1K. Obviously, it's more to it than just simply this global strategy with Sandwraith Empath, but that's the idea behind why you pick a lineup like this, at least what we're told. And, you know, from I guess, a little bit of experience. Again, Vitriolic, I guess, is the team that's kind of brought this strategy onto the scene. I personally have yet to see it actually work out, like, great. So I am very intrigued to see it work out. But
I'm curious as to how FYKU is going to lane this, because they have a great Suicide in Wild Soul, and they also have a jungler. But they also have a great Suicide in Plague. So
true.
Something tells me that one of those heroes, they could actually just go maybe short lane with one, Suicide with the other, and a dual lane Nymph Hammer mid. But like I've said over and over, like, yeah, on paper, Hammerstorm and Nymph it's awesome. Well, any kind of melee stunner like that with an Nymph on paper it seems awesome, but Nymph is very, very weak in dual lanes and gets caught out quite easily. So her cast animation on her stun is very slow. Just in general, her animation is very slow on her attack. So she's not the strongest laner, but she does bring a lot of utility to the table.
Now, Call It Karma, all 5 of them are actually going to head towards the top lane here. So we'll see them, I'm sure, try to get that ward side off ASAP. Empath is the one with it. The Hellborn side in FYKU. They are somewhat heading in that direction themselves, not all of them, so this could be a numbers advantage here for Call It Karma, but the courier should be able to spot them out here from FYKU Curdy, and they should be fine. We are going to have a pause here to start this game, coming out from the Hellborn team. Yeah, it looks like VN Sensation timing out right there, and he was the one that was saying he was having some internet issues. They're asking for another remake. I'm not sure why that... He bought a Marka Novice. That's kind of funny. There are 2 Markham Novice on Boo Boo, actually. And he lagged out on top of that, so... yeah. Well, see, this is an interesting situation here. So the player that timed out bought bad items. Now, that's not Call It Karma's fault, obviously, and... You know, but it is a case of, you know, being good-mannered in the end. But, okay, he has reconnected. Does he still have time to sell them?
I don't know.
No. Yeah, when exactly he bought them.
We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But, you know, if you're going to go for something like a Ring of Sorcery on Boo Boo, that'd be fantastic. Go the Ring of Sorcery Codex route.
Yeah, you know.
It's very standard, actually, in China.
In the China HoN scene.
Yeah.
Very active over there. Yeah, so we'll see what they ultimately decide to do here. Obviously, spectators would rather not have another remake, but that's the route that they want to go. Yeah, that's kind of what I was referring to. I mean, the Jellyfish is, by all means, he's correct right there with what he said. That's not their problem. Like, if you misclick items, that's... Yeah, but timing out, I don't see how that makes you misbuy items.
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
They're gonna man up. I do feel bad in the sense that FYKU is pretty well mannered. Like,
yeah,
they're really well mannered.
Both these teams are. I mean, so
yeah. But to be fair, it's not really Karma's place either. Like, too bad you misclicked, but whatever. He will be able to sell them, I'm sure, regardless, even if it's not for full price. And get something
you can't
out
even
of
get a hatchet. Yeah,
he can't get a hatchet, but
sucks.
He'll get whatever else and get some regen and whatnot. But yeah, the question is where he's going to lane now. Like, I don't know where he's going to lane in general. Do have all 5 members of Call It Karma up here to secure that ward spot to be placed by Carlsberg. And like I mentioned, it probably is going to be, well, actually it's probably going to be a Sandwraith tri lane up here with Sandwraith Parasite and then probably Empath. And Pebble solo mid, I want to say, and a solo Torturer in the short lane.
Okay. See, this actually kind of goes back. Obviously, Torture is a fantastic hero in his own right. It's not that I'm against the Torture pickup by any means, but what I was stating, how they had the chance to pick up a Luna in that lockbow with the final pick, and it seems like with this quote-unquote global strategy with Empath Sandwraith, that could have just been another, you know, assistance to the strategy, if anything, where she could obviously set up a power throw on top of Sandwraith porting in. to try to help secure a kill. But now, granted, Empath the Samurai, they don't have a stun, so that would make things maybe a little bit more difficult for Luna if she was picked up. So yeah, in the end, though, it's not like, again, I'm against Torture. Just kind of making that observation right there. But they do have Torture, going to be going to the short lane. You see Boo Boo right here, going to be pulling the creep wave. Ophelia's actually here as well. And see, that's kind of funny because she was just spotted right there. And I don't know if that was intended. She was definitely just spotted by the creep wave, though, as a result of Boo Boo doing the pulling. So I think that's a little bit unfortunate, but I think Pinky Curdy will just go on and farm. And I don't know if the Legion team will ultimately do anything about that, but we'll see.
That'll need to give a heads up to Pebbles to be a little bit careful in this mid lane now. The thing about this top lane with Plague being up there, I will say if Parasite gets a good creep, he did have a Catman. I feel like you could honestly roam them level 1 with this combination you have here. Parasite's going to get another Catman. It's a good job by Banana for the win by pulling that camp outside of the spawn at the last second there to get that other extra creep. And he's going to be farming up here aggressively in this top lane. But yeah, I feel like once they get maybe a couple levels up on them, they're going to be able to dive this Plague up top anytime they want. So maybe Parasite's just waiting for level 3.
Yeah. Yeah, he is just going to continue to farm for now. You see him hitting level 2 right there as the early Scarab. For the mana regeneration, we'll see. Pebbles in the meantime in the middle lane. There's a Skeleton King coming in from Ophelia. The stun's coming out from both Hammerstorm and Nymphora already. Great hero blocking with the Galvanize from Hammerstorm. And yes, he's going to set up the Bloodlust kill for himself. Shizor, excellent job right there. Obviously, the Galvanize gives him a little bit of burst of extra speed. Was able to just sit in front of Pebbles right there and eventually set up the Bloodlust kill. So, of course, Ophelia, as we stated, you know, as you even mentioned, we saw that they definitely saw her in the jungle, so maybe give a heads up to Pebbles to be a little bit more careful. Well, just great initiation, though, from FYKU coming out.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying. Level 1, I feel like Parasite needed to do something top. And, you know, you could have had Parasite in your own jungle, and that would have forced Ophelia out. That would have freed up a lot of space for Pebbles mid, also Torturer bottom. And, but yeah, if you're going aggressive jungle, you need to do something. He has a Minotaur now. Maybe they can look to dive this Plague Rider, but I still feel like it's quite a late gank. Like, I feel like you could dive him at level 1. But here we go with the Minotaur. He's going to maybe go around Plague. They're going to slow him. There's the wall coming out. The stun, if he breaks the Essence Link, but it's only like a very short stun. But the Minotaur is quite quick. He does get the stun. It looked like he wasn't going to get it at first, and they will get the kill. So I think after that kill right now, he needs to move and force Ophelia out of his own jungle.
Yeah, no, I thought he missed a stun, too. Oh, that's why I kind of reacted like that. I was like, oh, that sucks, because now he's going to get away. But no, he does get the kill. So the good news coming out right there, Banana for the win on that Parasite, setting that up. And we'll see now if he goes back to his own jungle or if he continues to sit here. Of course, Ophelia, in the meantime, she's going to actually get a Minotaur right here herself, and we'll continue to farm with that. And look at Wilds at the bottom lane, pressuring Torture quite a bit with Boo Boo right there. Gets the Entangle off, and that's Wild Soul, obviously, for you. If he gets the lucky Entangles, can definitely help set up some kills. He was able to purchase boots early on here as well on Boo Boo. Again, he wasn't able to start with the Hatchet, which is a little bit of a downside as a result of the misclick on a couple of Mark and Novice. But in the end, not the overall worst deal in the world. Meanwhile, back to the top lane, another dive happening. Pewie's in a lot of trouble. Plague Runner will try to get a counter kill. Not going to be enough, though. Parasite will tank some tower damage for Sandwraith right here, and they'll both end up surviving. So he decides to stay up top, but he at least sets up another kill as a result of that. So as long as he's doing that, I mean, I guess it can't be too wrong.
Yeah, and in this instance, you know, I always talk about getting farm on Pebbles, like making sure you get farm on Pebbles, and I still think that's very important. But of course, farm on Sandwraith early on, getting an early mock is very, very effective. And like I said, it's not one of those heroes where you can just, oh, well, they'll carry in the late game. Don't worry if their farm is gimped. No, like you still need to get a lot of farm early on in Sandwraith because then he just seems kind of useless without it. But there will be his rune. It actually spawns bottom as a regen. Pebbles trying to guess top, but is well, not really guessing because they actually have a ward up there. But yeah, he just kind of fears a lot of gank potential coming out from Ophelia. Obviously, getting the Bloodlust on him first kind of set the tone for the rest of this game. Yeah, in the mid lane at least.
Well, yeah, he is struggling now. He's going to try to counter right here on Ophelia. Parasite with these scissors takes over the Minotaur. Kind of stunned with it. Well played by Banana for the win, but it's still not enough for the kill. Pebbles actually started to run away initially, thinking they had it, and Ophelia will live. The Grace of the Nymph activated, and here comes a turnaround. Parasite now going to try to run away. Hammerstorm's done in 4 seconds. I don't think they're going to be able to stay close enough, though. The boot's just out of range, and yes, Parasite will survive, but that was a big misplay by Deadfruit right there, playing that Pebbles. He thought for sure the kill was had. He started running away to save his own life as he saw support coming in, but it was not guaranteed, and as a result, Ophelia lives right there.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. They just didn't have quite enough damage. Also, I feel like Parasite could have stayed in that Minotaur a little bit longer. Maybe got an auto attack or two off. Obviously, you do not, like, if you saw the response coming out from Hammer and Nymphora, you don't want to jump out of that creep before
Yeah.
the stuns are cast. Like, you want to wait. And obviously, for Hammerstorm and them, you don't want to even use your abilities until they're out of that creep. So I feel like you could have got a little more damage. Also, when you're in that creep, it does make your movement speed go up pretty damn high, which means it's very easy to hero or body block. So yeah, but kind of misplays on both ends right there. But nonetheless, it did take time away from Ophelia to gank and stopped her farm just a little bit. And as a result, Banana for the win on Parasite level 4 with 250 gold per minute, and Ophelia is only level 3 with 167.
Yeah, that Pebbles, though, he is nerfed. He's definitely nerfed this game. Now, Plug it at the top lane, going to take a little bit of pressure. You see Sandray charging in, actually a lot of damage coming out. And that kind of goes back to the fact now, in general, his deserted ability was working, obviously, as he was by himself. But the Desert's Curse now actually applies it as well, as long as it's on the target. That was changed a while back. There's the Desert's Curse to snipe out Pee-wee right there. Will pick up another kill, or his first kill, I should say, himself. But now we see, actually, Kalberg's here on Empath running away with both Ophelia and Nymphora charging in. But she will be fine. So great dive again by Call of Karma, and Plague Rider Man Pee-wee, he can't get anything going in at the top lane. But more importantly, especially for Call of Karma, Alme is off to a great start, 320 gold per minute. So sure, your Pebbles is being locked down. In fact, speaking of Pebbles, he's in a lot of trouble once again. Hammerstorm jumping in, but it's just Hammerstorm, so never mind. Nymphora, again, she was at the top lane. So, but yeah, Sandwraith off to a great start. Hammerstorm is the top farm of the game, though, 370 gold per minute, actually.
Yeah, he has a ton of CS, 36 and 17. So it is funny because I've seen Shizor play a lot of different roles. Not even just this series, but the last series as well that we casted them in. But he's doing a fantastic job on Hammerstorm to begin with. And I believe, were they playing the Hammerstorm in the last series as well? No, I think it was actually Call It Karma, I want to say, where they didn't get the blink on the Hammerstorm. They just went man up by
It was in Sanitarius, yeah.
And Sanitarius, Shrunken Head, Elder Parasite.
Yeah.
And it was, I love that. That's such an awesome build. But in this lineup, because you are securing the late game with Wild Soul, I feel like a blink actually could be effective. So we'll have to wait and see what he gets. But yeah, top farm of the game going out to Shizor and playing the Hammerstorm.
Yeah. Yeah, and you said his creep farm is very impressive. Now he's going to try to set up a kill. Again, the Galvanize going in front of Pebbles. The Seal Stun just out of range, though, and Pebbles will be fine. You actually saw Pebbles right there. He leveled up as in large while he was being chased down right there. So kind of interesting. Usually you don't see a Pebbles level that up until level 9. But, you know, maybe I guess just with the situation at hand, just figured that made the most sense right there. And he grew as he was being jumped on right there. But
yeah, I think, honestly, actually, if you're gimped, leveling up your ultimate's fine because you're going to get more damage. You're going to get more value out of your auto attacks.
Yeah.
And because you have a low base damage and you're not going to be able to combo your spells that effectively, I think it's fine. It also does give you, this is a minuscule, but it gives you 5 movement speed.
Oh.
And maybe he was like trying to run away from Hammer and just wanted to get away. I don't know. Maybe that was it, but yeah.
Not the worst option in the world.
You know, I didn't know this, but leveling up your ultimate also increases your cast range on your stun. I didn't even know that.
It does a lot. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it really does
crazy.
a lot. You know, actually, on that thought though, how about Slab Skin? Talk about an ability you never really think. At least I never think of when you think of Pebbles. Of course, you think of Pebbles, you think Snowball. You know, you think combinating with his abilities and doing work and maybe hitting hard as a result of his ultimate, but. How about the Slab Skin? I mean, the fact that it also it gives you armor on top of the reduction in terms of debuffs can be pretty powerful for sure. I mean, it's not something to scoff at by any means. Now, Ophelia in the meantime at the top lane, she's going to end up dropping. Parasite setting up that kill right there. As Sandwraith and Empath, they also clean up the creep. So again, Ophelia, she is also getting locked down here this game. It seems like.
Yeah, she is, and Parasite's doing a really good job. He started out very passively early on. But maybe, like I said, just wanted to get level 3 because if you're actually a very off the mark Q spell there by Sandwraith, that's kind of unfortunate. He does pick up the Steam Boots before going for the Helm of the Black Legion, but nonetheless, I think Steam Boots are fantastic because it gives you the ability to swap between the int and the agility and strength and use it to its full effectiveness. But bottom lane, we haven't really talked about this, but Torture versus Wild Soul. What do we got going on here? 43-9 for Torture against a 27-10. Wild Soul. I actually looked early on, it was quite even, but Torture pulling out quite ahead. Actually gets the kill onto Boo Boo, another 100 gold for him. So Jellyfish doing good job down here in the short lane.
Yeah, he's definitely been quiet, but as you just stated, I mean, he's actually looking very good here. And so Call It Karma, they definitely have their positives, as does FYKU, though, especially with a Hammerstorm. He still continues to lead the game in farm by quite a bit. I mean, 382 gold per minute. I am very impressed by his creep farm overall. I mean, 60 creep kills now. That's so many more than anyone else in the game. The closest is actually Torture at 46. So Hammerstorm really has been just getting those creep kills, and I believe he also got the Bloodlust, if I'm not mistaken. They got the first kill of the game. Now, obviously, his team is down 4-1 here as far as hero kills go, so that's the only kill. But yeah, I believe they got the Bloodlust kill to start things off. So yeah, his farm really showing with that. Now he has 1,600 gold saved up. It looks like Shizor actually times out right there. And let me actually change that real quickly. There we go. Anyways, apparently Swindamones likes Complexity's draft that game. But yeah, Hammerstorm is hopefully going to reconnect here. In fact, here he is. So he has 1,600 gold saved up, though. So as you were stating, now that was by Call of Karma. It was not by FYKU that game that we casted. So I am curious to see how Shizor here on Hammerstorm actually builds. Will he go for that quick portal key, or will he go for more of the beefy style of routes?
I just like maybe I did mention the portal key would be effective, but I just think in general the beefy style route and just lots like late game kind of oriented Hammerstorm is just way more effective in my opinion. It cuts the cost of a portal key. You just buy straight damage and strength items, and it's great against this team too. They can't really, until they get like a sheep stick on Torture, they can't really lock you down like effectively. Parasite jumps on you, you use a Shrunken Head and just go man mode. The Stalagmites come out, you use it before it hits, and then you just go man mode. And same thing with Torture or Stun. You can dodge all of that. You can dodge all the slows and snares and whatnot. And like I said, until they get like a Hellflower or a Sheep Stick, you just do massive amounts of damage. But
yeah.
Looks like another pause coming out.
Well, one of the players, Deadfruit, said they were good, and then so they went pause, and then Jellyfish is like, we are not here. And so, yeah. Just a little bit of, a little bit. This is a grand finals after all. There's a little bit of a back and forth chat going on right here. But as soon as whoever the player we're missing here on the Legion side comes back, then we will be good to go. Again, Call of Karma, they are up 1-0 here in this first best out of 3 series, and I say that simply because Call of Karma is coming from the losers bracket. The losers bracket, and if they happen to win this first series, we will be going to a second best out of 3. If FYKU comes back and wins this first series, then that will be it. So we'll see again how this plays out. But right now, Call of Karma, obviously up 1-0, and definitely looking fairly good here early on. And actually, Ophelia is going to get caught out here in the jungle. The ward is set on top for her. Out comes the Essence Drain or Essence Link right there. Parasite L's again taking over the minion. The Plague is going to come out, though. Passes over to the neutral creep. So back to the Minotaur, but he comes out of the creep. We'll be fine now. Samurai does get picked off, actually, so that's big news. What a Hammerstorm stun right there. That seemed like 5 million range, and he's going to try to juke with the leech, but it's just not going to happen. Ophelia even assisting after death with their Catman champions. So in the end, actually, that worked out pretty damn well for FYKU Curdy there.
Yeah, it did. They got the better exchange. That Plague ultimate was very unfortunate. It went to just a terrible position. But yeah, like you mentioned, Hammerstorm, the huge range stun. Actually, they're trying to nymph port, but Hammerstorm isn't getting the message.
Oh.
Hammerstorm did not get the message. It might still be enough with just Torture and Wild Soul. But that would have been a for sure kill, so some huge miscommunication right there. If you see Hammerstorm was still farming, and then 4 ported right next to him, and Hammerstorm just did not go. As a result, N4 is going to have to TP back to top. So,
yeah.
Oh, that was a very opportune, very easy kill. Just, big
missed out. Yeah. Hey, that goes, but as we stressed earlier, the Jellyfish has actually been having a very good time down here. He's just surpassed the 300 GPM mark, has his major totem on his way to a Talbot Man. There's a Sandwraith ultimate. Are they going to use this somewhere? It doesn't look like. Oh, they did it in the middle lane, and down goes Hammerstorm, and that's exactly what this combination is supposed to execute, and they do it well right off the bat. I mean, Empath jumps inside Sandwraith, they port, set up a kill.
Well, just think that wouldn't have happened, too, if they got the kill on Torture and then maybe backed up, or maybe it would have played out differently.
True.
So every little bit, like, little decision like that does snowball into something bigger, later on.
It's kind of frustrating to spectate. You see all these yellow dots on the screen. I'm like, which one is it? Which one is it? But I guess right-clicking at the actual Sandwraith. I'll look to do that in the future. I apologize for missing the actual port and then the kill. But he has his Helm of the Black Legion finished now. So despite that death, again, he's still very, very good place. I mean, he's 2-1-4 overall, 324 gold per minute now. And we just passed the 12-minute mark. And speaking of Hammerstorm, so with his death right there, his GPM, it's still impressive, but it has been hindered quite a bit. And he's actually sitting around 1,700, 1,600 gold, or 1,700, 1,800 gold still. Again, at this rate, not necessarily confirmed, but he could very likely just be going for that first item portal key and looking to play aggressive with it. But we'll see. again, what he ultimately decides to do. Strider's picked up on Wild Sun. You always love seeing that, especially in his ulti form.
Yeah.
Allows him to move around very effectively. And then Plague Rider had a very struggling start to this game. He's managed to get about to the 200 GPM mark, though. He has an early Grave Locket, as well as Steam Boost. Not horrible. Brute Strength activated in the middle lane. Shizzer wants to push his tower with Ophelia in him for him. Vulnerability's coming out, though, but no ports are happening. So this tower should be a free tower kill. They are counter-pushing the bottom in the meantime, but they used invulnerability and nothing happened with it. Now N4 is porting in this time. Hammerstorm will join, it looks like. He is ready to go, charging in, but going to be a little bit too late.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That would have been a very good idea. Or it was a good idea, but they just didn't execute it properly. But, yeah, I never like to see the glyph come out before if you're not going to have a response. So that's always kind of a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you have some resistance, or sorry, some pushing coming out in the top lane. Are their ports up and ready to go? You do have a port on Hammerstorm. You have a port on Wild Soul. They might look to defend this, but it's going to be close. Yeah, here we go with the defense. Lots of TPs coming out.
Yeah, in fact, Sandway's going to test his curse right away right there as all the ports come in. But, oh, they do catch, actually. Pebbles off to the side. Ophelia and Plague Rider caught him. So one death happens, but the rest get away. The tower is in deny range. Yeah, it definitely is in deny range. And that should be taken care of as well from FYKU. So pretty solid defense there with the portents that happened.
Yeah.
And they'll be fine for now. But Sandwraith Ultimate is back up, so again, I'm curious to see maybe Empath join his side once again here and perhaps look to gank somebody. Obviously, they're grouped up right now on the HoN team, so this is the time you wouldn't want to do that, but, you know, in the
Look
future.
at Parasite. He's trying to snipe out this tower. He hit it once with
yeah.
the Ballista. He's going to hit it a couple more times.
got it.
There is no glyph up on him, so good job by Banana for the win.
Very, very smart right there. Now, they are going to lose their top tower, but again, there was nothing he was going to be able to do about that, so that was just a very smart play by Banana for the win, definitely on the Parasite. Lose the top tower. Now, you said it at the drafting stage. This lineup has a lot of push, and we're kind of seeing that right here. Portal Key, by the way, was also picked up by Hammerstorm, and there's the Brute Strength activated again. This tower is dropping so quickly. One of the Catman champions to get over. Force coming in. There is Samurai charging, and here comes Pebbles. They're going to catch Plague right now, it looks like. Can he get the Plague go off? Yes, he can. The Plague is going to start bouncing around in the background, back and forth between the players. It finally stops right there. Everyone is still alive on the Legion side. Plague already dead. Sandwraith wants to take out Ophelia, wants to get close enough. There goes the kill right there as he goes down. I believe that was even the Dispersion getting the kill. Maybe not. Anyways, a port coming out right there, and it looks like Wild Soul will be fine. Boo Boo barely surviving as well as he gets away. But the Legion team definitely chasing them. 4 wants to get the Region Room. Bob Parasite going to steal. No! What a stun at the last second.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. Cores, can he actually escape right here? I don't think so, but get himself killed maybe. That could work. Oh, the Jellyfish snipes him. So
would have been a big play, but I got to hand it to them. I haven't seen it. I heard about it, but this Empath Sandwraith combination is pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
And he actually isn't maxing out the Deserted, so he's doing 45 true damage every single attack on top of the extra damage and attack speed he gets from Empath, and then all the spells that she has. And the cool thing about it is that you can heal Sandwraith with that Essence Link. So you're not going to kill Sandwraith. And then also when you get that Dissipate spell leveled up, it's going to do even more damage reduction. So it's a pretty cool combination. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big fan now.
Well, and again, this goes back to also what I was talking about earlier. You mentioned with the Deserted, the fact that he especially maxed it out. The Desert's Curse, and now any target that's affected by Desert's Curse will have the Deserted debuff on them, or however you want to call it. Or Sandwraith will be doing that true damage, the 45 true damage to them as well, the extra. And, normally, we've talked about this before, where normally that it actually never really plays a huge role, but in big clumped-up fights like that, that's where it's actually taking effect. So that's a pretty big change for Sandwraith, and no doubt helping him here in this game. So Pebbles has kind of recovered pretty well, not the greatest GPM. I looked at his items. I mean, they're not bad, but yeah, he's only 170 gold for minute still, and he's actually in a lot of trouble right here. He may be getting jumped. He's going to start roaming around himself. Might not be the best option. Oh, he's going to start falling back. So, he's right on the ward of sight, though. But he should be fine for now.
Yeah, he suspects something's up, actually, even though they don't have any wards down there, any sight at all. All 5 members. Maybe it was to his credit, and lucky that he kind of DC'd right there because he was walking back.
Oh, did he? Yeah, he did. Well, but yeah, I don't know if he actually timed out or if he just sort of restarted, but yeah, this is the game of pauses. Like I said, I mean, this does surprise me a little bit. This is the gold division. I didn't know this happened down here. This is only maybe a diamond thing, but no, obviously that took care of some issues, so understandable. But yeah, so he is falling back right now. We have Torture nearby. They are being spotted by the Sword side, so it's probably for the better that Call of Chroma just gives up this tower. we'll see what they choose. But again, the portal key was picked up on Hammerstorm, so
Yeah.
he did choose to go that route here, at least initially. So you like that in the end, or are you still not a fan of it?
No, I'm still not a fan. And the biggest reason, too, on top of all the other reasons I listed before, is the fact you're up against a Sand Wraith. So if they initiate on you and they get that ultimate off before you want to jump somebody, you have to wait that entire duration of that ulti until you want to. And then you have to wait 3 seconds after that for your portal key to refresh. So you're just kind of sitting there waiting. So why not just buy something where he ultis, you just go right in? Like, you go man mode, you have your Shrunken Head Elder Parasite, and you just run in there and just, wreak havoc right after your ultimates. But in this, you have to play passive and wait. And with this kind of lineup, you shouldn't be wanting to play passive and wait. You need to be up in the front lines, especially as Hammerstorm. So, yeah, I think that the Shrunken Head Elder Parasite, or even like you saw in Sanitarius, would have been better in this situation. But, yeah, that's just my opinion. What does that matter?
Nice. I am very curious. Actually, if Call It Karma, especially if they have an invulnerability here, they could actually defend this. Because, again, Empath and Sandwraith, they are up here at the top lane. Sandwraith Ultimate's ready to go, especially if he's actually close to level 11. That'll give him another half a second on the illusion. So it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's something at least. So if we can level that out. But even without hitting level 11, I could still actually try to maybe defend this here. Once Pebbles does come back. So, in fact, it looks like he's starting to reconnect. Speaking of that, I know that you are constantly double-checking the other game, by the way. Do we have any
I'm just monitoring it, but
how Game 2 is going?
Looks like it's a little bit even in the 14-minute mark. 5 to 7 hero kills in favor of Complexity, but the levels do look like they are considerably up onto Lions. You have as their support, as their, kind of hard support, Engineer. They have another Engineer Magnus lane and then a Forsaken Archer, but their support Engineer is level 7 compared to a level 4 Glacius being played by Franzi.
Yeah.
So on top of a level 10 Forsaken Archer, they definitely have the levels, but Complexity do have the kills on them.
There is actually another match going on as well in Diamond. We've been focusing so much on Complexity line, but I believe it's Q Squad Fortune Bakery, I want to say. They're also matching up against one another. I guess that's a rematch even, so I definitely want to get some updates on that, maybe after this series here, after this game even.
That was going down. Took game 1, it looks like.
Q Squad took game 1? Okay, so they're up 1-0, probably in game 2 now.
Fortune Bakery drafted a rally and a
Oh, really? And their Flint.
It went to an hour-long game. That was kind of
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
and it had lots of kills. That would have been a good game.
Well, can't cover them all, Trail. Can't cover them all. We do see right here, though, the Hellborn team, they are going to regroup after the pause, of course, and it looks like they are going to start to or continue this push. But like I said, I feel like, honestly, Call It Karma can defend this, and it could get interesting. There's a port in from Hammerstorm, actually. There it goes. Samwraith will port in with the illusion in the back. I'm going to tear up Nymph4, but it's going to matter. The Plague bouncing around. Pebbles in the midst of it all. Plague going to fall. The Plague is still bouncing around doing so much damage, but Samwraith is tearing people up here on the Hellborn team, it looks like, especially
Torture
with
gets
Empath
away.
inside. Torture somehow gets away right there, as barely skirts out of there with any life, but now Hammerstorm and Wild, so they do finish off Torture, as actually Samwraith finishes off Nymph4, and they still want more. Looks like Desert Skirt's going to cut him through the trees, actually, and that'll be the getaway opportunity for Alme, as the As-1 is probably running out. Yeah, there we go in 1 second, but they're going to still hold their ground. Oh, the TP actually accidentally used there by Hammerstorm. Are we going to see an entangle? No, a great wall off from Empath right there, and that will keep Samwraith good for now. Now, Parasite is ready to go. In fact, Port is coming in. That's actually Pebbles porting in. Can they catch Hammerstorm? The Desert Skirt slowing him down. Injun's Parasite as well with the portal key, and Hammerstorm will fall right here when it's all said and done. He gets the stun off, but it just doesn't matter, and Wild Soul is falling back before he goes down. The tower still has plenty of life, actually, so good hold there in the end by Call It Karma.
I'm going to say right, Empath, man, that combination is so ridiculous. It's only going to get more deadly.
With a Dissipate especially.
And a fantastic job by Pebbles. Like, Hammerstorm jumped in, stunned Torture, and some players would have just gone in and tried to save him by stunning and doing damage to the Hammerstorm, but he already used everything, so there's no point. Yeah. They had a clumped up, there was Plague Rider and one other hero right next to him. I don't remember who it was, but he went on the follow-up, which is exactly what you have to do, and got a fantastic double stun toss combination onto Plague Rider +1. Like, again, I forget who it was. I think it was maybe Nymphora, but it was fantastic. Did massive amounts of damage, and really set that up on top of course, the Plague Rider and Empath combination. Torture able to live throughout a lot of that exchange. Did die at the end there, but did a lot of damage before that. And, of course, Parasite cleaning up there and helping out at the very end as well. So, yeah, Call It Karma looking really, really good right now.
Yeah, you know, Samwraith is an interesting hero, with competitive HoN history at least. I think it's safe to say, you know, most people that, you know, come from watching games or even playing them as yourself, Terrell, it's safe to say that Sandwraith doesn't necessarily have the sexiest history in the sense of being a very entertaining hero to watch. I mean, when he was especially popular in the Tri-Lane era, it was simply sit back, farm, get your helm of the Black Legion, get your Mock of Brilliance, and then make things happen. You know, press R, kill the other team, and win the game. I love seeing this style. In fact, Sandwraith says, once again, he's going to dive in right here with Empath inside. Hammerstorm going to get walled off. He's trying to get away. It's probably not going to be enough, though. Chain reactions will get the kill in 4. Hammerstorm going to try to port out, but the Stalagmites connect at the last second, and down he goes again. Wild Soul just jets on out of there, but now the Legion team, they're going to group up and make some pushing happen themselves once again at the bottom. But the fact that Sandwraith right now is 18% overall hero damage done in the game, the top only 20 minutes in, really goes to show you how well this strategy is working and just how different and entertaining it is. I mean, it is a lot of fun to see, you know, innovative strategies like this. So,
well, anytime you have a global ability that hits everybody for guaranteed damage, you will naturally have those numbers, similar to Thunderbringer. Like, sometimes it doesn't seem like you're doing that much damage, but then you look at the hero damage and he's like 20% above everybody. But yeah, I've always been a big fan of Sandwraith. Just for one fact, and it's that you can be part of a team fight no matter where you are on the map, which means you can open up and spread up farm very easily and very effectively. That is the one reason why I love Sandwraith. And then you put on top of it his ability to carry, you know, quite hard with good items. The problem is you have to have a favorable lane for him early on, and they did. They had it up top.
Oh yeah.
And so that was good for them. And I will say he was very, very popular in the Tri-Lane metagame. Why? Because you'd have underfarmed and underleveled supports that were basically food. Right? Like you were saying, you press R, you get kills on your supports. But in a metagame where we have lots of junglers, that's not necessarily the case. But that doesn't mean that Sandwraith can't be used. And well, he's being used this game very effectively right now.
There's, again, you just love to see the innovation here. We do see a port coming in by somebody. In fact, Sandwraith once again going to port in himself in the background, chopping on Ophelia and Wild Soul. The Plague is bouncing around, but there's a lot of Sandwraith illusions absorbing the damage. Parasite will fall in the background, but Ophelia is dead. Wild Soul getting the lock into the torch. You see back here, Plague, it looks like he's going to eventually fall. Again, Sandwraith just charging in right here, and then for a great seal. So a good side step initially after it, though. And there's a speed burst coming out from Empath. He gets blocked by his own team, actually, and he has to fall back. Wild Soul is going to try to fight him. Hammerstorm also assisting right here, and it is right now only 2 up are Sandwraith and Empath, and actually Sandwraith is going to pour back, but Empath comes out at the last second.
Oh no!
And Empath is now in trouble. He's going to try to pour it, but Hammerstorm jumps in, gets the stun, and Kalbergs will fall. So that was just unfortunate timing. It wore off just a second before.
I have to say that
Sandwraith poured it out.
That was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'd be so angry if that was me.
Yeah.
Oh, they tried. That was a fantastic try, but yeah.
Now, that was a 1-5 by FYKU, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was. You do have Matt still a ton of experience lead, but you know, with them getting the tower kill as well. Did they get the tower kill? I'm pretty sure they got it. I don't think it was denied. Yeah, they did get the tower kill. So
yeah. Yeah, good things happening right there. And again, FYKU, it's that was a 1-5 for them. You could say, and you know, Wild Soul, what does he have saved up now? 3,700 gold. So.
Here's the difference maker. Yeah, complete Mock of Brilliance purchased up on Sandwraith. So that's going to be a huge deal breaker here in the next upcoming team fight. So, you know, when you weren't able to burst down heroes before, well, now you're going to, and he's going to do a lot more damage. You do have the response. I saw a Slayer.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, what?
It is right next to the Sword of the High. So, you know, Wild Soul does respond with his own Sword of the High, and probably going to have a mock up here pretty soon, but it's just not the same. It is very effective on Boo Boo, but it's just not the same as on a Sandwraith, who can propagate it on his illusions to everyone that when he presses R.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous as far as the combination goes. So, yeah, the fact that he has that now, that's, well, it's the helm of the helm of brilliance, the helm of the Black Legion Mock of Brilliance combination. That's just always so deadly on Sandwraith, and that is very scary news now for FYKU. But the fact that they won that last fight, that's got to be at least very encouraging for them, and knowing that they still have a very solid chance themselves. And Hammerstorm went the Portic out first again, and he has a Mighty Blade picked up, so very likely going to be finishing that Shuriken Head here in the near future. Ophelia just finishing her own Shaman's Headdress, actually. That's on top of her Astrolabe, so a barrier idol, and of course will be a very powerful item for her once she gets that. Especially since you got to start, you said it earlier on, you know, he's just going to get more and more dangerous, Sandwraith, not only with the Mock of Brilliance, but the Dissipate. Not only is it damage reduction, and now 16%, I believe, yeah, 16% damage reduction, but he also does, he reflects damage back as magic damage. So That barrier auto will definitely play a much more bigger role when you think about it that way. Now, Samurai chasing with a hasten right here and an invisibility rune. He was on top of Wild Soul, but figuring that he probably won't be able to get the kill himself. Kongor is being attempted. Samurai, though, could definitely stop that as soon as the Legion team realizes. We'll see if they realize in time.
Yeah, I mean,
close.
You talk about tower pushing. They also have a Kongor killing team as well, but the Wild Hunter actually does spot out what's going on. There is a Ward of Revelation placed by Chorus there in that huge river, so they do know something is up, and they're not going to be able to take Kongor at least at the moment. So, also, yeah, I don't know if we mentioned before, but the portal key onto Parasite just wants that initiation, and they will get it. I mean, if they wanted to, they get that ultimate off, and they, he should be looking to jump that Plague Rider in particular. Plague Rider is quite tanky, having that Shaman's Headdress. Probably going to have a Barrier Idol here in the next 200 gold or so, which is great for him. But is it going to be enough is the question. It looks like the Torture also is going to be going for a, not Helm of the Black Legion, but a Shrunken Head. Of course,
yes.
that item slipped me.
Yes.
But, Wild Soul might be in a interesting place right here, playing some Do-Si-Do, playing some footsie with this Empath. Can't get that bear to attack. Wants so badly to, but just isn't in range.
No, going off right there. So, yeah, I ran into Sandwraith and Empath, but in the end, he is fairly tanky himself, of course. I mean, what is he sitting at? Yeah, 1786 life with 2 minor totems, typical. Yeah, he's pretty damn beefy. So, definitely just a smarter choice for Sandwraith and Empath to kind of just fall back and continue farming themselves. Another 1,800 gold already saved up on Sandwraith, speaking of him. So, you figure from here, what do you go for next on Sandwraith? After the Mock Helm, you go for Geometer's Bane here? Null Fireblade even? What would you like to see?
I think Geometer's Bane would be great. You'd have more illusions. You'd have more tankiness. And yeah, I think that's the most standard route. The other thing you can do is get a Purge or get the Null Fireblade, but I don't think it's really going to be that successful in purging. You can purge off the Cursed Shield, which would be great. And I'm trying to think of it. You can also purge back the Ophelia's Judgment, which is quite effective in team fights.
Yeah, so Sandwraith ulting right here. He will jump in onto the Lonely Plague Rider. That's exactly what we're talking about. He will ulti himself. Oh, the nice heal's coming up, but the wall is still up, and Plague Rider off on the back on Hammerstorm goes down, actually. As what is that? Oh, I apologize for that. Anyways, they do get a couple of kills right there, both on a Hammerstorm and to Plague Rider. And right now, the Legion team, they are going to start destroying the Hellborn side as far as pushing in the middle lane right here. The tower, it should fall in the meantime. And this is looking very good now for Call of Karma here, especially after that fight. Again, that's just the power of Sandwraith Empath. Plague Rider did a good job of staying alive as long as he did with an enforced support, but it just didn't matter in the end. So well played there by Call of Karma. And this lead is starting to take off a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's only going to get worse. I want to say that was a level 2 ultimate by Sandwraith, and one of the iterations to him not too long ago was his cooldown on his ultimate level 3 especially. It's 80 seconds. I believe before it was something like 120, what it is at level 1. And that's huge. I mean, you can cast it very liberally now, offensively and defensively. So, yeah, like I said, it's only going to get worse at this point. Did he buy? He bought an item. I didn't see. I wasn't really paying attention. So maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And it looks like I can't see because the owned buy is cut off.
It's the Shrunken Head. I believe that's going to be his. Or no, is that his?
That's going to be that's
Torturers. Yeah,
so.
You're right. I guess it's just still in the stash.
Okay.
I don't believe it's on the courier. I think that the route of the Firebrand though into the Adventurous Geometer's Bane definitely makes the most sense, but we'll see obviously what he wants to go for here. But yeah, definitely bought something. So I wasn't paying attention to exactly what it was. Empath in the meantime, I mean, hell, she's got a Mana Tube, the Striders, the Power Supply picked up. Looking pretty good there. Parasite actually just picked up his first Arcana, so on his way to the Hellfire you'd expect. And yeah, there was a Fleet Feet purchased there by actually Sandwraith, so I believe that is the Firebrand route that he's going to be going for here as the courier is being sent back now. And going to clean up the Ancients in the meantime. So Pebble's actually back at base right here with a double damage rune. But he's also been doing it. Talk about recovery for him. I mean, again, still actually his GPM still pretty bad. He's only at 206 gold per minute. But he's done enough for his team. He's done enough for his team. Overall, he is 1, 5, and 8. Been involved in 9 kills, and Pebble's doing enough. So one of the few times we see Pebble just completely underfarmed and underleveled and everything, but still his team ain't doing too shabby.
Yeah, he's still doing a lot for his team. And it looks like we do have a Storm Spirit in the works for Carlsberg playing Empath, and that's going to be really, really effective. Also, one of the great things about Empath, I talk about it all the time, is that Oh, here we go with another ultimate. I'll let you take over.
Yeah, again, Samwraith Portini's level 16 now on top of that. Pebbles, there's a wall off right there, and Wild Soul will fall. That's exactly how that combination's supposed to work. Pebbles obviously being there, just adding to the guarantee of the kill, and well executed. Now, Parasite finding himself in a sticky situation. He's going to Portkey away. He will be jumped on right here, but is this the smartest move by FYKU in the back end? There's the FYKU coming out, but Torture in the midst of it all with the Sharknet activated. Sandwraith in the background. He's going to take out Hammerstorm. We see the chucks going around. Ophelia will fall. Torture doing so much work right there with the ulti activated and everything else. The Sharknet was on. He took 0 damage. GGs are being called already, and it looks like FYKU has had enough. Karma will take the first series here in the Gold Division Grand Finals as a result of what just happened right there.
Yeah.
So, again, we are now going to be going to a second best of the 3, of course, between these two teams to see who the ultimate champion will be. But call it Karma, man. Looking very good there in the first series.
They turned the switch on, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love to watch this combination, too. Like, I didn't really get to see the full effectiveness out of it before, but
yeah,
it really does numbers on that team, especially, like I said, Sandwraith is not comparable to one of those other hard carries where you can just worry about his farm later. You got to get the farm on him early on, and part of the reason why we don't see him so often is because he is relatively weak in lane early on. But when you have a Parasite in the works of your lineup to provide lots of ganking, we saw him just dive that Plague Rider on the top lane over and over. He couldn't do anything. Even though they had some good ganks coming onto their Pebbles in the mid lane, they just got the farm on the priority hero, which was that Sandwraith, and then they ulted liberally, like right when they got level 6 on the Empath with Sandwraith. They were, constantly using that ultimate in team fights.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. And again, I think you got to give credit to Vitriol for kind of coming up with that strategy. I don't know the exact where it exactly came from by any means, but they were the first team where I started at least hearing about it from. So definitely can give them credit there for at least helping to bring it onto the scene. But Call it Karma, that was fun to watch, and you can see why it was used. Now, I don't know if it's a strategy we should expect teams to just start switching to it, become the new metagame by any means, but it's a fun side strategy to have that sideboard even as far as wanting to bust out from game to game. So, well, so as we keep going back to those, so now as a result of what just happened right there, Call it Karma, they take the first series 2-0, but with them coming from the losers bracket, they actually need to win another best-of-the-3 series now to win the overall grand finals, whereas FYKU, the same thing still stands for them. I mean, they just simply need to win this series, and then they'll be good as far as being the gold champion. So, in the end, both teams, no matter what, moving on a diamond. Keep reiterating that, but right now they're playing for a little bit more money, a little bit more points, even more importantly. So we'll see how that goes down. Now, I believe, I don't know exactly, to be honest. I don't know if we need to wait for the next set of matches to take place before this one starts, or if we can actually just jump right into it. So we are going to take a short break. If anything, we'll come back to you with an update as far as exactly what we're going to be doing here. So stay tuned, though, guys. Stay tuned to HoNcast. Of course, Beefpot Pike, and also check out his stream. I believe he's still covering some Diamond Division matches. So want to head on over there for now, but definitely come back, because our second series of the Gold Division, FYKU taking on Call it Karma, will be coming up here in the future. So stay tuned, guys.